Greetings, everybody. This is Rambling Collector, back here with another comic review for all of you today. And this one I am very excited to finally talk about. We are going to be talking about, for the subject of this video, Batman No Man's Land, Omnibus Volume 1, by Dennis O'Neil, Greg Rucka, Chuck Dixon, Paul Dini, Jordan B. Gorfinkel, and Scott Beatty. So, I've stated in the past that Batman is not usually one of my biggest go-tos, but this one in particular I definitely needed to pick up, especially for the premise that it was presenting. After taking a massive earthquake, the United States decided to cut Gotham off from the rest of the world, declaring it as a no man's land, outside of the United States, rendering it into a desolate wasteland, where it is merely survival of the fittest. And I've got to say, the fact that this is only the first of the series in a long line of omnibuses, maybe about 3, and the fact that this took over in the 90s, like this took over an entire year in 1999, tells me that this story was definitely worth the read, and after finishing at least Volume 1, I can certainly say it was. Let's get to talking about it. So, to begin with, at a large 1,137 pages, it still amazes me that this compendium is only the first part of a series. But more than that, this provides a unique challenge for Batman and the Bat family, having to navigate a Gotham City that's been abandoned and left to rot, devolving into a wasteland contested in various degrees of turf warfare. And honestly, just that alone was fascinating. Like, in this whole compendium, you see Batman, obviously, Nightwing, Oracle, Tim Drake's Robin, Huntress, and of course, a new Batgirl. Now, because of the fact that, well, first of all, Barbara Gordon is currently in the wheelchair, this is also another post-Killing Joke story. And I'm now kind of curious, when exactly did Killing Joke even occur? Because there are a lot of stories that I see that involve Barbara Gordon being stuck in the wheelchair and being known as Oracle, but I'm not really seeing a time frame for all of these. And to be honest with you, that kind of bugs me in a way. I'm very tempted to look at a Batman timeline sometime, but anyways, I'm getting off track, I'm sorry. But more than that, one of the things I definitely enjoyed about this collection was that it gave a spotlight to both heroes and villains, showing how some can put aside their differences to focus on mere survival. A good example being when police officer Renee Montoya, who for those of you who have read the New 52 series know that she becomes the next question after Vic Sage passes away, is when she is working alongside Two-Face to rescue people across No Man's Land. And I gotta say, it was actually really cool to see Two-Face embracing more of his humane Harvey Dent side and trying to focus on saving the lives of other people, all of which was based upon the flip of the coin, which always seemed to land positively on helping people for a while. And it was actually really refreshing to see Two-Face embracing more of his humane side instead of just being another mobster or gangster, at least for a while. Not only that, but I really liked the little Nightwing short story that we had of him going into Blackgate Prison and helping some of the villains who were incarcerated there, such as Black Mask, in trying to find a way out so that he can take down the main head honcho who has taken over Blackgate Prison. And the sheer irony of it all is that a lot of people would rather be in Blackgate Prison now than they would like to be back in Gotham City. That tells you just how bad the situation has gotten, and honestly, looking at how they embraced things like turf warfare with markings of spray paint, including Batman even getting onto it, was pretty interesting. And watching Batman struggle with this whole thing, trying to feel like he has to shoulder this entire situation on his own, was really, really telling. And it is only halfway through this collection that he finally realizes that he is only one man. He cannot handle Gotham on his own. He just can't. At this point, Gotham City is not like how he knows it. It is divided. It is much more about survival. It is about coming out on top and just trying to survive for the next meal, or trading for valuable goods whenever needed. There's even a moment where Superman actually tries to help, at one point, by restoring power to a section of the city, but all it does is that it shows the main worker who knows how to run the joint becoming a head honcho and learning how to sort out supplies and stuff. And Superman is completely caught off guard by this, because he is simply trying to help, but he is only one person. He cannot do everything to help this struggling city that has been left to fend for itself. So even though he does bring a bit of hope, it's just that Gotham is a whole new animal, one that he is not ready to tackle. And quite frankly, that tells you a lot when even people like Superman are befuddled. And Batman is just telling them, dude, I've got this for now. Just stay out of my city. Which, again, really tells a lot about how just absolutely messed up this whole situation is. Also, I want to say that No Man's Land was also the moment when Harley Quinn first appears. Because, from what I understand, Harley Quinn was a Batman the Animated Series original character, and here I feel like I'm seeing her very first comic appearance, where she meets the Joker, falls in love, gets incarcerated, earthquake happens, breaks open Arkham Asylum, all the villains start escaping, and she goes off to look for her Joker. And honestly, this would explain a lot if she started off in this kind of cataclysm. And yet now she's one of the most beloved comic book characters by a lot of people. It's absolutely insane to me how we see things like Huntress donning the cowl of Batgirl for a while, only to then revert back to Huntress after having herself tested by Batman and winding up failing. It's fascinating how this all worked out, and it's what kept me coming back every time. Alright, I think I'm getting off track here. Let's move on to random thoughts. And while normally with these comic reviews, I would also post a page of what the artwork looks like, I personally don't know if I can do that this time, because this collection is huge with multiple authors and artists and things like that, and I really don't want to get in trouble for not giving credit to any one artist or writer. But anyways, let's move on to random thoughts. So, random thoughts here. One of the biggest complaints that I have thus far was Jim Gordon's entire attitude during this whole situation. Like, I understand the fact that, yes, Gotham is, as of right now, at one of its lowest points, and you are just trying to maintain order and try to gain back control over the city, trying to establish a sense of order. But continuously getting onto the nerves of your fellow officers who are serving under you, and even fighting with your wife over something as simple as calling for help from the Batman over a sense of pride, is kind of stupid. And the sheer fact that Gordon actually went to Two-Face to make a deal is absolutely ludicrous, not to mention him constantly fighting with his wife over what he believes is right and wrong, seeing everything now as just black and white. And it is just an absolute mess watching Gordon fall apart. And even splitting from Batman for a while, saying things like, oh, we don't need him, he abandoned us, things like that. It was hard to read. And in some cases, it really made me dislike Gordon. I understand the situation, but that doesn't give you a reason to be a jerk. And meanwhile, I liked how another part of this that I really enjoyed was just the focus on, well, the simple people. The people who are just trying to survive another day, trying to figure out their own solutions and find a way to just find another meal. Hell, Penguin literally has a monopoly on bartering with people because he has some very rare supplies and a possible ticket to the underground. And I really liked some of the old costumes I saw in there too, like Catwoman. I did not realize that at one point she wore a purple bodysuit like that, but good lord am I glad they changed it. Because not that it looks bad, but I definitely prefer the black leather suit that she wears in more modern comics compared to what she wore back then, because good lord was it just screaming, "Here I am, come and kill me." But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this story, and I'm really curious to read more about it whenever I get the chance. Well, after I finish a few more compendiums at the very least, because as I've said before in a few other videos, I am absolutely swamped when it comes to comics. But I think I've rambled long enough. Let's move on to the final score. So my overall score, if it wasn't obvious already, I'm going to have to give Omnibus Volume 1 a solid 10 out of 10. Great artwork, very engaging story, really fun new way to look at Batman and how he adapts to a new situation, as well as the entire Bat family working together. But more than that, this is another main story of Batman that I really wanted to check out for a while, or at least that I've heard of, and now I've finally gotten the chance to experience it. And if you guys would like me to do a review of Omnibus Volume 2, please feel free to let me know. Now, if you are curious to see some of the other comics that I've reviewed in the past, I will leave a link to that playlist, as well as one for if you are more of a book nerd and are looking to find your next read in the novel world. Which, funny thing, No Man's Land actually has a novel adaptation. Would I pick it up? Maybe. I might need to see just how much it would cost me. But overall, guys, I just want to say, thank you so much again for listening. This was honestly a lot of fun to cover, and the only thing I regret is that I wasn't able to get this video out for National Batman Day. Something that I hope to correct next year whenever I get the chance. But more than that, guys, again, thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot if you stuck around to the end of this video. And if you're inspired to pick up this collection for yourself, I'd say go for it. You are missing out if you want a great Batman story and haven't picked this one up yet. Once again, you guys, thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts on it down below, or if you like what I do here and you're curious to see more podcasts or videos of me talking about books, comics, manga, or if you have a certain one that you want me to review, feel free to subscribe and keep following. You might be able to find something new. You never know. Once again, thank you so much for listening. This is Ramble and Collector, signing off for now. Have a great day, fellow readers.